Hello, this is Wisdom, and welcome once again to another mental health topic on this channel. I hope that today's topic will be useful to you and you'll find it helpful for your general well being. The focus of today is on a model called PERMA, PERMA, and it is an abbreviation. We'll go into it in a moment. And it is a model for improving and enhancing one's well-being, psychological well-being, social well-being, and generally helping individuals to thrive and flourish in life. It is also referred to as the well-being theory, the theory of well-being, and it was developed by one of the pioneers of a subfield of psychology called positive psychology. So, positive psychology is a really impactful field of psychology, and it has been a key, player for the past two or so decades. So, one of the champion or pioneer figures, Dr. Martin Seligman developed this PERMA model as part of his, contributions towards building people's mental, social, physical well-being. And the model provides five core pillars for living a flourishing life and generally enhancing your well-being. It is scientific. It is not just a group of motivational points that have been put together. It is based on empirical research data, and these are individuals, so Dr. Martin Seligman and others in the field of positive psychology, who have done empirical studies, meaning collecting research data and doing a lot of work to understand how certain factors within our lives as individuals are helpful if we can focus on those strengths, those factors in our lives that consider the light in our lives. If we can focus on that and build on them, it would help us to flourish in life and thrive for that matter. And positive psychology looks at the strengths of the human race rather than focusing on what is wrong with us and typical ways of trying to help people overcome mental health related issues. Positive psychology is looking at what is right with the person, what is the strength that we can identify, and how can we help individuals who are doing well to maintain that state of wellness, and also help them to build upon the strengths or factors in their life that help them to thrive. So the model is really useful, and I believe that as we go through it, it will be something you find very helpful. It primarily gives us an idea of certain things that if we pay attention to, which are the building blocks of well-being, we'll be able to sustain a good mental, physical, social well-being. And well-being is just a state of contentment, a state of satisfaction, a state of physical, psychological, and social fulfillment that allows you to live your life devoid of the anxieties that be and the stresses that be, although you would definitely go through some particular stresses. And according to Dr. Martin Seligman, well-being cannot just exist in our head. Well-being is a combination of feeling good, which we'll talk about, the positive emotions, as well as actually having meaning, good relationships, and accomplishment in your life. So if you are feeling good, you have a certain meaning to what you do, a meaningful life, so to speak, good relationships, and a sense of accomplishment, that combines to come up with what we call a well-being, your well-being. So what are the components of PERMA? PERMA, P stands for positive emotions, E stands for engagement, E stands for engagement, R stands for relationships, M stands for meaning, and A stands for achievement. So all of these are what come together to give us a sound well-being or otherwise. So your well-being would be reflected in positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and achievement. We'll run through what each of them stand for, what they really mean to us, and what we can do. Positive emotions are emotional experiences that generally help you to flourish and thrive in life. So as you are going through the day, you feel happy, probably because you heard a good news. You are watching a movie and it's an exciting movie. You have certain positive emotional experiences. So emotions such as joy, inspiration, when you are inspired to do something, maybe someone gave a talk and you are inspired, that is a positive emotion. Love, confidence, cheerfulness, compassion, happiness, contentment, and gratitude, amongst many others. Feeling excited, in awe about something, and all that. Those are positive emotions. So, really, positive psychology, and for that matter, the PERMA model is not just about people being happy. Happiness is just one of the emotions that are positive emotions we experience. And it is good to feel happy. Generally, our body's physiological system is structured such that if we engage in activities that help us, to feel certain positive emotions, it's really inspires certain chemicals, what we call neurotransmitters. For instance, dopamine, which is our pleasure neurotransmitter, serotonin, which helps with mood regulation. So when we experience positive emotions, it really helps us. The body responds with calm, and it goes on to help us to deal with issues of stress, and generally gives us a certain sense of fulfillment or satisfaction. So in order to flourish, in order to thrive, these positive emotions are important. Beyond happiness, how we feel inspired. So what you listen to, where you are mindful of the kinds of information you are taking in, the kinds of conversations you are involved in, the kind of news that you focus your attention on. Things are difficult, but you are listening to people that have hope, people that have faith that things will get better. It gets you inspired, and that positive emotion will get you to move on in life and do your best. You will thrive because of the inspiration that you are getting from all the sources that you can. So as you believe in your abilities, for instance, it inspires a certain confidence to take certain actions. And when you are filled with confidence, you know what it does for you. If you're a confident person, when you called upon, opportunities come, you take them because you are confident in yourself and in your abilities. So positive emotions are really important if we would achieve a sound well-being. And when we focus on things, events, and people that make us feel good about ourselves and what we do, we improve our well being. So you want to look and assess yourself. The people that I surround myself with, the people that I give attention to, are these people that encourage me? Are these people that make me feel good about myself? make me feel good about my physical self, my intellectual, abilities? Are they people that believe in me? Are they people that let me see that I am important and I am welcome in that space that I find myself? So you want to look at the people, the pains, and the events that you get involved in and see whether they make you feel good. If all the things around you, the activities you involve yourself in, the people you surround yourself in, are always making you feel negative emotions, sadness, anger, anxiety, fear, those kinds of emotions are negative and they would always drain you. So you would easily fall into depression. You would easily suffer from certain sicknesses. You have sleep problems, and all of these would deprive you of that capacity to flourish and thrive. So you want to pay attention to the things that you do, the events and activities that you engage yourself in, and the people that you surround yourself with. How do they make you feel, and how do they help you to experience these positive emotions of joy, inspiration, love, confidence, compassion, happiness, contentment, and what have you? On positive emotions, one of the key emotions is optimism, where we have a certain confidence in tomorrow, a confidence in our abilities, confidence in what can go well. When you surround yourself with people that are pessimistic, for instance, it takes a toll on you, and you may struggle to believe in the possibility of things. So optimism is a key tool when it comes to well-being. And Seligman says optimism is a tool with a certain clear set of benefits. It fights depression, it promotes achievement, and produces better health. So for me personally, as someone who believes in more humanistic approaches to helping individuals overcome their challenges and issues and all that, building an optimistic attitude in others is very important for me, because when people gain confidence in themselves and they become optimistic, they look at their situation with hope. And once there is hope, we say there is life. So optimism is very important. You want to be an optimistic person. You want to believe in what can go right rather than focus on what will go wrong. You want to believe in your strengths and focus on that rather than on your weaknesses and how they can make you feel. Optimism is very important. Optimistic people have lower chances of getting into depression and failing to achieve in life. And optimistic people have better health because they really don't have time to brood or dwell on negativity, which in itself can lead us to true distress. And distress or stress contributes to a lot of medical conditions. The second part is engagement. So beside positive emotions, and positive emotions, though important, are just one part of the whole component of well-being, as we mentioned earlier. And if you have positive emotions and the others that we'll talk about do not exist in your life, then there's trouble. So you need to have the positive emotions, surround yourself with things, people, and events that would help continuously inspire that kind of positivity or positive emotions. But you need engagement, which is the second thing. Engagement is about maintaining an authentic flow in our everyday activities. And flow is, or being in a state of flow, is a very important concept in positive psychology. The concept of flow is when we find ourselves so much involved in an activity, engaged in a conversation, engrossed in a certain experience that we enjoy, that we particularly find ourselves, wanting to do, that we lose track of time. So you just want to look through probably the week or your life, and you'd recall certain moments where you are so caught up. So personally, I like reading. I have a certain, knack for seeking knowledge. So I love reading a lot, and I can get myself engrossed in a novel, engrossed in literature, intellectual, content and all that for the most part of the day, and not be really tired of doing so. So you are so locked up in that activity or experience that you forget that time is even passing. You lose track of time. You are someone probably who likes playing games, or you have a child who likes playing games. You realize at certain points where they become addicted to that particular game, when they are playing it, you call them and it seems they can't hear you. You are standing right with the person, right by the person, and you call their name, and at a point you have to hit them, and then they come back to themselves. That is flow in action. You are so engrossed in an activity or experience that you enjoy that you lose track of yourself and time. When we are in a state of flow, we feel in control, we feel a certain intrinsic reward. So we don't need any other person or external force to congratulate us or to motivate us to carry on what we are doing. We have an internal drive to be engaged in that activity and see it completed. So in a state of flow, you are in control, you feel intrinsically rewarded, and you are fully concentrated on what you do. And if in our everyday life, as a worker, as a student, we can be engaged in what we do, allow for flow in what we do, you'll realize that our life will be more, satisfying, and we'll find less space for worry and less space for anxiety. Because whatever subjects you are taking, whatever courses you are taking as a student, it's like you've taken it as something that is personal, something that is critical and important to you. So though you may not like the subject, though you may not like that particular responsibility, you allow yourself to be engrossed. And one way you do that, especially for things that you don't like doing or activities you don't like, is to draw from your signature strengths. And signature strengths are certain things that we find pleasure in, certain things that come easy for us. So, in order to remain present, in order for you to remain in a state of flow, which is important for the second part, engagement, you draw from your signature strengths. And these are things, activities, virtues, values that you hold dear. They make you feel important, they make you feel unique, and they give you a sense of satisfaction in life. So as I mentioned, I am somebody that likes to search for information. I love to seek knowledge. I love research. uh, I read a lot, and it is something that has become a part of me. So, whatever responsibility that comes my way and I need to search for information, is not something that I find difficult, because it is a signature strength to seek information and seek knowledge. I love learning. So, the love for knowledge is one of my signature strengths. So the signature strengths are things, values, activities that you hold dear. And this is how you can determine what your signature strengths are. What comes easily to you? Are you someone that easily offers help to others? Are you someone that is easily able to work in teams? So teamwork will be a signature strength. You are curious, you are creative, you are kind, you are altruistic. Altruistic means helpful. You like helping others. You believe in justice, you believe in integrity. Those are values or virtues that you find important. You believe in tolerance, you are very punctual. Those are signature strengths. So, how can you draw from your signature strengths and make the activities or tasks that you are engaged in, even the ones you don't personally like, so fulfilling that you can always be in a state of flow, where in doing the task, in being part of that experience, you really lose track of time and space. So, what comes to you easily? What are the values you consider important in life? And what activities make you feel happy and relieved? So, if I'm put in a role where what I need to do is probably, I don't know what, maybe related to um, maybe drawing or singing or counting money, maybe an activity or role that really isn't something I would want to do or I don't find really interesting. I can draw from that strength of mine, my signature strength of love for knowledge, and go find, and that is something I do a lot. Go find on the net, go read books, watch videos on how to, count money in the best possible way, how to draw different, artistic qualities. I'm seeking knowledge, although what I have been given is something I do not like. So, in order to be in a state of flow while carrying out that activity of, doing money related work, my love for knowledge will push me to go and find information, to learn a lot of things that I can about working with money. And by that, I would begin to, appreciate what I am doing. I have drawn from my signature strength of love for knowledge to help me maintain focus while working in an area I do not like. If you are someone who is creative, the task that you have been given may not be something that demands creativity. But because creativity is your strength, you draw on that strength so that the task I have been given, how can I be creative about it? How can I do it in a way that when someone sees it, when someone hears about what I have done, they will say, wow, yours stands out. So you are drawing from that signature strength to make sure that whatever activity, whatever experience you are having, you are always in a state of flow. You are concentrated fully, you feel intrinsically rewarded, and you feel that you are in control. It is very important for you to know what your strengths are, as this helps you to live a more meaningful and flourishing life. So, under engagement, flow is important, and knowing your signature strengths and applying them is also very important. So, we have another quote from Dr. Seligman. The good life consists in deriving happiness by using your signature strengths every day in the main realms of living. So, as a worker, as a family person, as a student, as whoever you are, wherever you find yourself, as a religious leader, as a political leader, wherever you find yourself, as a hawker, as someone as a journalist, whatever you are doing, using your signature strengths in your everyday engagements. The meaningful life will then add to this, using these signature strengths to forward knowledge, power, and goodness. And we'll talk about meaning very soon. So once I can draw on my signature strengths and use it for the benefit of others and society, for the greater good, it helps me to find that I am living a life of meaning. So engagement is very important. The third component is relationship. And we know that as human beings, we are social beings. You know, whether you are an introvert or someone who is generally withdrawn and you like being alone and all that, we cannot live as an island. You cannot live alone all the time. Work will demand that you work with other people, you have interactions with neighbors, children, your spouse, and all that. So we are social beings. We need other people around. We need to have certain social engagements or interactions as part of our lives. So our well-being is connected to the relationships that we are able to build. And building healthy and positive relationships is very important. If you do not have healthy social networks, whether it is just a good friend you have, your parents, your siblings, your friends, people that you can relate with, people that you can have interactions with, it will have a significant impact on your well-being. Psychologically and physically, it can have a toll on you. There are times where you may be going through a challenging time, probably having a difficulty in making a choice or a decision. And just talking to a friend will help you feel relieved. So the relationships we build, the positive and healthy ones, is very important for our well-being. And studies within the field of positive psychology and generally psychology and human behavior have found that when individuals are surrounded by happy people, so a work done by Paula and Nicholas 2008 found that individuals who surround or are surrounded by a social network of happy people are more likely to become happy in the future. And it is something that is basic to our life. When you are living with people that appreciate you, people that inspire in you the positive emotions, people that are happy, people that are always, in a good mood and ready to help and all that, it helps you to develop a more positive and healthy attitude towards life. And as you grow in your older life, it generally makes you a better person. You live a more happier life, all other things being equal, than someone who lives and is surrounded. Maybe the parents were harsh and aggressive, lived their life in a neighborhood that is very restrictive, very unfriendly, and all that. So there is a relationship, positive relationship between being surrounded by happy people and how we become happy now and in the future. And also, when we have a good social network, very supportive and healthy positive social network, it also improves our physical health. So people that grow in their adulthood, older adulthood, and still have a good physical health, um, growing up or in early parts of their life, had a very supportive and positive social network. So you want to make conscious efforts to build and maintain positive relationships with your children, your spouse, your friends, your co-workers. So at work, you want to be free. You want to uh, be able to greet your colleagues and have a smile, have a laugh. Talk to a friend. You want to have a good interaction with your spouse, your children. That really helps. And all of these good, healthy relationships are part of what improves your sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. It helps you to live a flourishing life and helps you to thrive, notwithstanding what life will pose at you. So Dr. Seligman says that on the relationship side, if you teach people to respond actively and constructively when someone they care about has a victory, it increases love and friendship and decreases the probability of depression. So if you are someone that when your friends, people around you achieve a victory, they move forward, they get a promotion, and you are happy for them, genuinely excited that they are doing well, it increases your chances of staying strong, having a sound well-being, mental well-being, and it also helps you to flourish and live a life of meaning. It increases, your chances of avoiding depression, anxiety, and related mood issues. It puts you at a place where it's like you are excited for the victories of others. And that will also mean that the little victories in your life, you will also appreciate them and be excited. And others will also, love you, and friendships will be built, enhanced relationships, and all of this is important in contributing to a sound mental well-being. So it's important for us to actively and constructively show that we are excited with the victories of other people. When others do something good for us, being grateful is very important. Gratitude is one of the important positive emotions that helps us. And all of this is constituted in the kinds of relationship we are forming. The next component is meaning. And as human beings, we are seeking purpose. We are always seeking meaning for why we live and what we do. So when we find ourselves doing things that are important to us, if you're engaged in a job that is important to you, that you find fulfillment in what you are doing, if you're a teacher, the fact that you are teaching someone to become great in future is just, it's makes you feel that you are doing something great and important. That helps and contributes to your life of flourishing. But if somebody is a teacher and feels that this is not something I really like, it's not something that I find fulfillment in, they may be working, they may be receiving salary, but you realize that these are people that would live every day of their lives in depression, every day of their lives mourning and complaining and all that. So it's important to find meaning in what you do. And once you find meaning, it means that you can look back on your life, you can look back on your family, your social networks, your work life, your education. You can look back upon all of these when you are older and find a sense of integrity. Um, in one of the popular stages of human development theory called the psychosocial stages of development by Erik Erikson, a psychologist. He talks about the stage in life where we experience integrity versus despair. So, where in your older age you look back on your life and you experience integrity, where you feel that you have really lived life, you have contributed, and you have lived the best that you could. And so you feel a sense of integrity, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of satisfaction. But if another person looks back upon their life and feel that they lived a life that was not really meaningful, they couldn't fulfill any good purpose in their life, they will experience what is called despair, shame, guilt, would be something that characterizes their older age. So, meaning is important for a sound and flourishing life. When you find yourself doing things that are important to you, some people, when they volunteer, so volunteerism, their corporate work, some people, it's just about giving to the poor. That is where they find fulfillment. So if it means that the little money they have, they are able to get some books and send it to a school and give to those who don't have books, give some money to those who are begging on the streets, that is where they find fulfillment. That is where they find meaning. They believe that in their work, in their volunteering, in their training others, grooming others, whether they are children or other people, that is where they find their satisfaction. And that in itself makes you, you know, develop, sound mental well-being. Some people, it is in their spirituality, their religious, whatever thing that they do within that religious setup is where they find fulfillment. Some find purpose in prayer, some find purpose in other things, some are in leadership positions. So there are various things that we do. It differs from each person. Um, I'm someone who is in the helping profession, being able to help others to overcome their issues, solve basic problems in their life through my professional work, and also, basically who I am gives me fulfillment. So although sometimes the demands on you may be great, you are doing something that is important to you, and by that you don't find yourself going through distress because of the things that you are doing. Finding meaning is about knowing and doing what makes you feel fulfilled. If you are not doing what makes you feel fulfilled, you will have a difficult time flourishing and thriving in life. So another quote from Dr. Seligman says, doing a kindness produces the single most reliable momentary increase in well-being of any exercise we have tested. So basically helping us to see that when people offer a helping hand, when you do something that shows kindness, whether it is about helping someone with money, helping someone with an activity, helping somebody to make a choice that, at the end of the day becomes the best thing that has happened to them. Any act of kindness, when we do it, it increases our well-being, because we find fulfillment in the fact that we're able to do something good. And that is all that meaning is telling us. Finding purpose, finding fulfillment in what you do and why you live. And the last part of PERMA is achievement. When we successfully accomplish certain goals, particularly the ones we have set for ourselves, intrinsic goals, it brings us great satisfaction and a sense of pride. Pride in the fact that we've been able to do something that we set out to do. We've been able to accomplish a certain feat. So achievement or accomplishment is really important, and it is more important for us when we pay attention to the little successes that we chalk in our everyday life. Sometimes it's easier for us to brood over the failures, brood over the things that didn't go right, but in PERMA you are encouraged to focus on what little thing you have been able to change, what little improvement you have been able to see. When we see life from the angle of what is going right, it helps us to flourish. It increases our chances of flourishing and thriving. So probably you made a good decision recently or in the past, and that decision, was something that really helped you. That is a celebration, you need to have. You need to brood over that and pat yourself on the back that you really did well in taking that step, in making that decision. There may be other decisions in your life that didn't go right. There are certain mistakes that you made, but why not focus on the good decisions you have made, the good steps you have also taken recently or in the past? By focusing on that, you will thrive on the fact that you are not a failure. There are instances where you may have made the wrong choices, but you have the capacity and the ability to also make the right choices and take the right steps. Probably there was a skill set that you didn't have, but now you've been able to improve upon that. As someone who has been working for many years, you didn't really have any skills in IT and using computers and all that. the pandemic COVID-19 came, and you had to change and adjust to the new, the new normal. And you were able to learn some skills when it comes to virtual, interactions and using technology and all that. That is something you've been able to improve. Focus on that achievement. Have you been able to put a smile on somebody's face? Maybe you said something to someone that made them feel better. You were able to stand with someone when they were going through a difficult time or a loss. That is an achievement. Focus on that and thrive on the fact that you have also been helpful one way or the other. Probably you've been afraid to take a particular step, and you were able to gather the courage, master the courage to take that step. It may have ended in failure. That project may not have gone right. That opportunity may have passed you by. But the fact that you were able to master the courage to take the bold step is something that you should celebrate. It gives you some sense of, positivity, some sense of satisfaction that you were able at last to take the step, even if it didn't end up as you wished. However little it is, just make time to intentionally celebrate your success. As you are celebrating yourself and the little achievements, greater achievements are coming, greater successes are coming. It focuses your attention on what could be, what you can do more, and takes your attention away from the negative implications of failing or making mistakes. You can learn from your mistakes, learn from your failures, but master the art of savoring your strengths and your accomplishments. It's very important in the PERMA model of well-being. So when we take time to notice the things that go right, it means we are getting a lot of little rewards throughout the day. And these little rewards are in those positive emotions that we feel, that sense of gratitude, that sense of joy. And all of this helps it improves your mood. It changes everything about your day. And if you are in a good mood as a worker, it allows you to flow in what you do. You don't go about moaning and being indifferent throughout the day, and that affects you how you're interacting with other people, makes you unproductive and all that. But if you are able to take notice of the little things that are going right, even in the day that is filled with a lot of bad news and all that, it really helps you to get those little rewards that takes you through the day, through the week, through the month, and helps you to live a life of flourishing and thriving. So these are the 5 core pillars of PERMA, which help us to live a flourishing and more successful, satisfying life. I hope it has been an eye-opener. I hope you would pay attention to positive emotions and how you can engage in activities, do things, and surround yourself with situations that will help you to experience positive emotions rather than the negative ones. You want to engage. You want, and in engagement, you want to draw on your signature strengths, and you want to be always in a state of flow, fully concentrated, intrinsically motivated, and always feeling that you are in control of what you are doing, even if it is an activity that you would ordinarily not want to do. You want to build strong, healthy relationships because it's important for your well-being. And you also want to find meaning in what you do. You want to find purpose for what you do. Whatever we do that we feel a sense of purpose in, a sense of responsibility in, helps us to attain the state of integrity where we feel satisfied. We feel that we've also been able to contribute our quota. Very helpful in achieving our life goals. And finally, we want to draw on the strengths that we find in the little successes we chalk. That is a boost for our next level achievements that we have been able to make, accomplishments that we have been able to make. The little ones, the great ones are all part of it. And it would also mean that when others are doing well, as we have mentioned, building strong, healthy relationships will mean that we are happy for them. And, you know, all of this will help you to maintain a flourishing and satisfying life. So this is PERMA. Every day you wake up, you want to say that I want to have a PERMA day. I want to have a PERMA day or a permalicious day. And I believe that you would really live a life of fulfillment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in today. And before you go, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I want you to like the video, share it, and leave a comment under the video. Thank you so much. And as always, remain a blessing and stay positive. Bye bye.